Hello students, in continuation to our previous lecture in which I had discussed regarding the various ingredients of the printing paste, in which majorly it was, you can say, thickeners, dyes, hygroscopic agent, wetting agents and chemicals, in which I had listed oxidizing agent, reducing agents and other some assisting agents, and there are some also special chemicals which are used for the making of the printing paste. So in continuation to that, I am discussing today two of the major ingredients which are thickeners and dyes in this lecture. So classification of dyes or colors which are used for the printing of the textile materials. Dye, is a colorant material which has affinity for the fiber. मीन्स डाई एक ऐसा पाउडर है, ऐसा कलरेंट है, केमिकल कंपाउंड है जिसका कि फाइबर के साथ रिएक्शन होता है और उससे हमें एक स्पेशल कलर मिल जाता है. there are certain dyes which require some chemicals like mordants or fixing agents to fix the color on the textile material. In general, in this lecture, in these notes which I will provide you also on your group, we have made a list of the various dyes which are used in the printing of textile materials. Number one is the reactive dyes. This is the most versatile, means most important dye which is accepted in the dyeing and the printing world. This dye is a very versatile dye. Versatile means it is accepted by various classes of fibers. Like it is used nowadays, it is used for the conventionally for the cellulosic materials like cotton, viscose, protein fibers like nylon, silk, etc. Nowadays, other classes of dyes also have been developed for other fibers. Like porcelain dyes have been developed for the, you can say, silk materials, and mixture fibers, you can say blended materials. So its acceptability is increasing day by day. Second important point about reactive dye is that it reacts with the fiber. Like the name suggests, it reacts with the fiber, so their fastness properties are very good. Washing fastness, light fastness, rubbing fastness, they give us satisfactory washing fastness properties, and they are normally used for the cellulosic materials. Number two is the acid dyes. Acid dyes, like the name suggests, why these are called acid dyes? Because these are dyed or applied in the acidic medium. That is why they are called acid dyes. In general, these dyes are used for the protein fibers like woolen materials, silk materials, nylons. Okay, so these are called acid dyes. Next is your pre-metallized dyes. Pre-metallized dye is a type of acid dye in which a metal atom like chromium is added, by which fastness properties increase. So it is a type of acid dye. One type of acid dye which has more fastness properties. Next class of dye is the direct dyes. These are the most, you can say, initial class of dye which was used for the cotton materials. Direct class of dyes. Direct dyes means they give colors on the material directly. Okay, they are substantive in nature, means they love the substrate, mean textile material. There is a special, you can say, bond of attraction between the textile material and the direct dye. Normally they are used for, you can say, cotton materials, direct dyes. Special thing about these dyes is that no special chemical is used for these dyes. They are substantive in nature. Immediately they are applied on the materials. Next class of dyes, you can say, azoic dyes or the naphthol colors. These are also called in grain colors, and these are made by a combination of two chemicals, naphtholes and bases. These two chemicals are combined inside the fiber, that is why they are called in grain colors. There is a special property about these naphthol colors, means whenever we require bright and dark shades. For example, if we are to make a tomato red color, so that is a very dark color and bright color. How we can make that the color? If we make that color in other class of dye like reactive dyes, so it will be very costly. Shade percentage will be very high, and it will be very costly. So from the economy point of view, we also have to check about the type of dyes which are suitable. So naphthol colors give dark shades and bright shades. So in specific cases, particular shades, we use these azoic colors or the naphthol colors. Okay. In ladies dress wear, we use these colors too much. Next is the disperse dyes. Disperse dyes is a class of dye which is used for the synthetic materials like cellulose acetate. Initially it was used for cellulose acetate. Polymer materials means which are applied at which are dyed at high temperatures. By applying this dispersed dyes, dispersed dyes are the colored particles, you can say, which are pushed inside the polymer material on high temperatures. So in this case we use a, you can say, a carrier. Also we use for swelling of the fiber, in which pores of the fiber open and dye enters into the fiber. So dispersed dye is specifically used for synthetic materials. Next is your wet dyes. Wet dyes is also one of the special class of dyes which is used for the cotton materials. So when we use wet dyes, that is specifically used for premium quality materials which are to be sold at high cost. Why? Because these dyes have good fastness properties, all round fastness properties, means washing, light, rubbing, perspiration fastness, etc. So these dyes give us all round fastness properties. So that is why they are costly also. These are applied in alkaline conditions, and of course you will study about these dyes in the dyeing subject. Next is the basic dyes. This is also used for protein fibers like wool or silk materials, and nowadays these are used for the acrylic fibers which is next to wool. Okay. So these is the, you can say, classification of various dyes which we are using in the printing of various materials. Next is classification of thickeners. This I have given you 3 or 4, 5 thickeners I have given you regarding this classification of thickeners. I have given you one assignment. Means what is a thickener? It is an important ingredient of the printing paste. What are the objectives of thickener? This, number one, it increases the viscosity of the printing paste. Till we do not achieve the viscosity, increase the viscosity of the paste, we cannot print. Naturally, the purpose of thickener is to increase the viscosity, and then it binds the color in the boundary of the design, so that color does not flush out. अगर हमारा कलर एक प्रिंट एक डिज़ाइन में से बाहर निकल जाता है, तो हमारा वो डिज़ाइन प्रिंट तैयार नहीं होगा. तो पर्पज़ ऑफ थिकनर क्या है? टू बाइंड द कलर इन द बाउंड्री ऑफ द डिज़ाइन. Moreover, number 3, it keeps all the ingredients separate, you can say. They do not mix each other before until unless they are steamed to the next process. Okay. So all the ingredients do not get intermixed without their premature development does not take place without steaming. So this is to bind all the ingredients in at one place and to apply all those ingredients in the print area or the design area, by which we get the print, of course. So what are the factors for the selection of a thickener? मीन्स कौन सा थिकनर हमें लेना है, उसके लिए हम कैसे चूज़ करेंगे. हम उसको चूज़ करने के कुछ पॉइंट्स होंगे, कुछ फैक्टर्स होंगे जिसके ऊपर हम उनको थिकनर को चूज़ करेंगे कि फ़लाँ फैब्रिक के लिए फ़लाँ डाई यूज़ करने के लिए फॉर ए पर्टिकुलर डाई फॉर ए पर्टिकुलर फैब्रिक वी विल यूज़ अ पर्टिकुलर थिकनर. So first choice factor for is the type of dye and the type of material. Like हमें अगर कॉटन प्रिंट करना है और रिएक्टिव डाई से प्रिंट करना है तो हम क्या करेंगे कि हमें अकॉर्डिंगली थिकनर चूज़ करना पड़ेगा, लाइक स्टार्च और यू कैन से सोडियम एल्जिनेट. We cannot choose any other thickener, so we will have to keep in mind the type of dye and the material which is to be printed. Okay. Number 2, compatibility with dye and chemicals, means this thickener should be suitable for the ingredients, other ingredients of the printing.